And what's up, everybody? It's Joey Bags. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've watched my content before, welcome back, and I thank you. Happy New Year. Today's video is actually, I'm going to try to make this a quickie. In case you're wondering, I'm in the Mazda MX-5 Cup, the 2016 Cup car, at Sebring. I just happened to be watching a actual clip of spec Miata race at Sebring, and it kind of got me in the mood to drive this. So the whole point of today's video is really I wanted to just bring you some quick info about the Cammus C5. As you know, Cammus did provide the C5 to the channel for testing and evaluation and review. Now, because they did, it does not mean that they will get favorable reviews. I mean, I'll review this and I'll put it through its paces, just like every other wheelbase, especially the ones that I actually pay for. So they will not be seeing a video ahead of time. They won't even know when the videos come out. Pretty much I do this, you know, as I'm in the mood for it. I really don't have a set schedule of when I'm reviewing certain things. I just kind of do it when I'm in the mood. Usually you get a video every day, but, you know, this is as my mood is. So, let's kind of get into it, because I know sometimes my videos can get a little long-winded. If you want the TLDW, Too Long Didn't Watch version of this video, is I like the Cammus C5. The Cammus C5 is a 5 Nm direct drive wheelbase that has a innovative design that the motors and mainly the motor is integrated into the wheel hub. So there is no traditional wheelbase like in other direct drives. Another positive point of it is that it's $250, so it's rather inexpensive for what it is. Another positive is that it's a very small package, so fitting this on just about any rig is quite simple. Being a small package, you can also go ahead and put it on its desk clamp. Now, along with that, yes, you can use a desk clamp with it, and it, you know, you can get a package that includes a desk clamp. It's a rather powerful direct drive for what it is. So I don't think you may, unless you have like a super sturdy desk, you may not want to use it there. The negative points, which I'll touch on a little bit more in depth later on, we're doing the TLDW right now, is that the paddles on the side are rather small. The wheel is not removable, so there's that, and it's a D-shaped wheel. If you're into drifting, a D-shaped wheel isn't all that great. If you're into formula driving, D-shaped wheel kind of doesn't really fall in line if you want to keep that immersion factor. Other than that, that's really the big cons that I can come up about that. So if you wanted a TLDW, that's it. We'll go ahead and get into a little bit more in depth, and I'll try to make it as quick as I can, because I really don't want this to be a super long video. Like I said, for $250, I think this is a great wheelbase, especially an entry-level wheelbase. I think this is a great wheelbase if you already have maybe some entry-level equipment and you want to upgrade the wheel. I can tell you from personal experience, I had my G29, and while my G29 wasn't bad, I really love my G29, it was kind of loud. I mean, besides the fact that it didn't have a lot of force behind it, I mean, I think it has like a peak of 2 Newton meters, peak, not even, you know, it's really not the strongest of wheelbases. It does convey, some detail and, some road feel, but it's not the same as direct drive. So if you have an entry level setup like that, so you've got the pedals, maybe you've got a G29 setup, you got the pedals, you have the shifter, and you kind of want to upgrade the wheelbase, I think this is a good option. Conversely, if you're on Thrustmaster, and I'm not familiar with Thrustmaster, I'm all over the place, I'm so sorry, some reason I can't talk and drive at the same time. If you're on Thrustmaster, and maybe you do have their TLCM pedals, I think that's their load cell pedals, maybe you've done an upgrade, in the past, and it's like, oh, I've got, this kind of cool setup, and I upgraded to a load cell, and you have their TH8 shifter, or T8H shifter, or whatever it's called, and you're like, oh, now I kind of want a direct drive, but I don't want to break the budget. I think the Cammus C5 is a good option there. I can tell you right now, I'm going around Sebring, and this wheel, quite honestly, it feels like when I was using the PXN V12 DDS, and the DDS is their 10 Newton meter direct drive base. And quite honestly, the power, the feedback, everything I'm getting from this wheel right now, quite honestly, feels like that. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like I'm using a 5 Newton meter base. It quite honestly feels like I'm using something quite a bit stronger. And if we all know Sebring, this track is a little rough, and not really rough in the difficulty, rough in the road textures and the knots and the bumps and the oscillations in the road. And quite frankly, I'm getting all of that through this wheel right now. It actually feels really good. I'm amazed. Well, it's actually not really amazed, kind of what I expected, but for something in this price range, I am amazed. For this innovative design, I'm quite amazed at how well it works out. So, I'm back to what I was discussing, where if you have, entry-level setups and you kind of want to upgrade maybe just your wheelbase, this is an extremely viable option. It is available for, like I said, $250 directly from Cammus. They do have a North American distributor. I don't believe they have any stock at the moment. You can check out the link to their North American distributor through Cammus's website. They will have a link to it. They do have a bundle with their Hall Effect sensor pedals that I believe they're running on a sale right now of 25% off, so it's like $299. With shipping, I think shipping from China to the US is probably like maybe another $100 or so. I mean, it'd be nice if it was cheaper. So you're probably looking at about $400 or so. And if you use code JoeyBags at checkout, I can save you another 5% on that. So that actually, I believe, brings it to like $394, $395 or something. So you're just under $400 for that setup, if that's something you wanted to, if that's the direction you wanted to go. Now, if you just wanted to buy the wheelbase by itself, because you kind of already have the auxiliaries, you already have some pedals and a shift or something else, quite honestly, I think that would be probably a better move. I'm not going to say their pedals are bad. I don't have them, so I can't judge them. But they are Hall Effect pedals, so really, they're definitely going to be better than Logitech's potentiometer pedals. I don't know if they'll be any better than any of the Thrustmaster pedals. I've never used them, but I mean, there are much better pedals out there that you can actually get at a rather inexpensive price tag. So if you just kind of want a really nice, powerful wheelbase, and you're okay with the fact that you won't be able to change out the wheel. Wow, I'm really fighting this wheel right now. I can really feel this force feedback. If you're okay with the not being able to change the wheel, if you're okay with it being a D-shaped wheel, then this could be in your wheelhouse. I know the pun is it's a little stupid. The vinyl, I'm gonna go with vinyl because it's not leather, that they use on the wheel itself is actually rather nice. The feel of this whole wheel, comparatively to some of the other wheels I have, which if you would have seen the other wheel roundup video I have, you'll see all the other wheels I have, is actually quite nice. I do kind of hold it in my, I think it's top 5 wheels of the 7 that I have. So the vinyl is really nice. I quite actually like the stitching. The stitching is pretty okay. I don't race with gloves. I'm always, barehanded. I do wash my hands, but I'm usually barehanded, and I don't feel that the stitching is overly aggressive or digging into my hands or causing any type of calluses or anything. The buttons on the face of the wheel are not the super highest of quality, but I would equate them to the Logitech, not the Logitech, well, yeah, actually kind of, the Logitech G29 and the Fanatec GT DD Pro wheel and the McLaren GT3 wheel, where those aren't, well, actually, no, maybe not the McLaren GT3 wheel. I really like the buttons on that, but maybe the GT DD Pro wheel, the Gran Turismo branded wheel, it feels like first-party controller buttons. So, your first party, your Sony branded, your official Sony controllers, that's what the buttons feel like. Your official Xbox controllers. Like those pedals, should I say those buttons, the feel that you get from those buttons is what I would equate the buttons on the face of this wheel to in the terms of feel. The rotary encoders are very nice. They are programmable, so you can either go through the 2-step setup. You can either program them to 2-step. So one turn is one button, the other turn is the other button, and if you just keep going in whatever direction, that's what it is. So if you're going, this would be to my right. If you continued right, you would just be going up. Like, let's say you set traction control, it'll just cycle up through the numbers. And if you set cycle down to the left, as you kept going left, it would cycle through those numbers. Or conversely, you can change it so that it's a 12-step. So if you have it in the center and you turn it to the right, it would go 1, and you go 1 more and it would be 2. It would be each individual 12 steps. So you actually have that option. The LED lights on the face of the wheel are addressable RGB. So they have, I believe, 5 presets that you can go ahead and click the button on in the software, and it will set them at, those 5 presets. Or you can go in and click on each individual LED and change it to your liking, which is kind of awesome. There is a LED, I guess, there's a little screen, a little digital screen on the wheel that just, it's kind of like a digital clock, basic, numbers. And in there, you can, in the software, in the Cammus software, you can choose between speed in either kilometers or miles per hour, or your current gear. I currently have it in as my speedo, even though I really don't need it since I have it on the screen, but that's how I have it set. Other than that, this is a really nice wheelbase. The force feedback from it is great. The power is awesome. I quite honestly, other than the maybe 2 or 3 things that I mentioned earlier, the small paddles and the non-changeable wheel, those are really the only negatives that I can go ahead and the only glaring negatives. I mean, of course, if you want to sit there and nitpick small little things, comparing it to, some other way more expensive wheelbases, you could probably get into the weeds of going in and nitpicking little tiny things. But quite honestly, in the overall scope of it, the biggest 2 glaring things are, well, actually the 3, is the small paddles, which if that's a thing for you, for me it's not, because this actually fits my kind of small hands. The D-shaped wheel, and the fact that the wheel is not changeable. Those are really the big glaring things. Other than that, I mean, small little tiny things that, quite honestly, most people won't realize, won't tell. Once the software is up and running, everything works well. Did have some issues, getting the software running. Could have been my USB port, could have been my computer, initializing something else. I mean, it could have been a bunch of different things, but now I've got it running more consistently after reinstalling the software. So oh wow, this force feedback is so strong. It's working exactly as I would expect it to. Power wise, it's good. Force feedback is great. The design is amazing. It's different. And its price. I mean, I think its biggest draw is its price. It's $250. You can't find a direct drive, you can't find a brand new direct drive for $250. You can't. I mean, even if Moza had released their R3, which we don't even know, that's supposed to be coming out sometime within the next few months. It's a I believe a peak 3 Newton meter direct drive wheelbase for PC and Xbox. That doesn't have as much power as this does. And I've used the R3. I have hands-on experience with the R3, and the R3 was very nice. And it was very smooth. But quite honestly, it's not as good as the Cammus C5. I think the biggest issue that the C5 is going to have in front of it is the fact that it is attached to a company that does not have a established name in the sim racing world. When it comes to sim racing equipment, Cammus is a new company. And unfortunately, I think that is its biggest detriment. Had this design been released by Logitech or Fanatec, maybe maybe a Simic. I mean, if there was a long established company that had gone ahead and released this wheel, I have a very, very strong feeling that this would have been adopted much sooner. More people would be talking about it, and it would be in more hands, because quite honestly, I do feel that good about it. I mean, it feels like a really good quality wheel that is unfortunately tied to a startup. I mean, it's a company that doesn't have a name in the sim racing. They're building their name, but as of right now, it is not known as some of the other ones are. And unfortunately, I think that's what its biggest detriment is, because this is a great wheel. And unfortunately, because of that, more people won't take the chance in buying this. More people won't take the chance in getting their hands on it, trying it. Unfortunately, this won't be in big box stores like Best Buy. Maybe set up as a display, or Micro Center set up as a display for people to actually use it. Because quite honestly, I have to tell you, if you use this wheel, you would be shocked at how this feels, what kind of force you're getting from this design. And don't take my current driving on screen as a judgment of that. It's just that I have a hard time talking and concentrating on driving. So, I'm sorry, guys. So I really think that's the biggest thing that's going to be holding this back. I honestly, I really like this wheel, and I've actually really wanted to try this wheel out. I believe it was sometime last year that I came across this, video that was all in Mandarin that I couldn't understand. I had to figure out how to get it translated. I'm sitting there with my phone in Google Translate and subtitles, so that way I can kind of see what they're saying. And it was the CEO, going ahead and, explaining the whole concept behind how they're putting, the direct drive wheel in the hub, and how it makes sense for, power, and how it delivers the power and the sensation, and you have nothing lost when everything is connected together. And I'm just like, wow, that's kind of cool. So I'm already at 20 minutes. I really didn't want this video to go this long, but I've got to tell you guys, for a $250 wheel, I think this is something that you should definitely take a look at. I'm really happy with it now that everything is working exactly the way I expected it to. The disconnect issues that I was having, I've seemed to completely eliminate that just by doing a simple uninstall and reinstall of the hardware, giving it time to initialize instead of just turning everything on and ripping it right into game. It's working the way I expected to, and I really didn't do anything but reinstall the software, and everything it's great. Quite honestly, this is a really nice wheelbase, and I do wish that, oh wow, this is so strong. I do wish stuff like, changeable wheels or maybe a different wheel shape would be something that, can be easily done. Probably not. But for most of the driving that I do, quite honestly, this is actually pretty good. As a wheelbase, it is rather quiet. I have noticed I will do this kind of like, it makes a sound. It's a very weird sound, but it only does it at like extreme under steering situations, and it's only done it to me once. It was very odd. It was a very odd time, and I was like severely understeering, and it made this really weird like electric sound. I don't know exactly what that was. I know it was it doing its thing and trying to, convey whatever the wheels were doing, and how that conveyed it was in a weird sound. But it's only done it one time. I haven't been able to repeat that, and other than that, it's been relatively silent. So with that, I'm going to leave you all. I am going to say once again, Happy New Year to everyone. I'm once again going to thank you all, and my multinational coalition of viewers, my viewers from France, my viewers from Spain, my viewers from the UK, my viewers from Russia, my viewers from Europe, my viewers from Japan, my viewers, ooh, that was bad. Oh, that was bad. That was bad. Ah. Okay, that was bad. My viewers from South America, my viewers from all over the world, I greatly appreciate all the time that you all take to sit there and watch my videos, to comment. As always, if there's anything that I may be wrong about in a video, do not hesitate in putting in, correcting me in the comments. If there's any suggestions, go ahead, put them in the comments. If you have any comments or, any concerns, just anything you want to share, the comments are always open for you guys to do that. There we go. Hold on, I need to go back. There we go, in the reverse. Any stories you guys want to share, just put them in the comments, and I read them, and I will answer all of them. Usually, sometimes at 2 or 3 in the morning, but that's what time I tend to be up at. As always, don't forget to hit that like button, please. The more likes we get, the higher up in the algorithm I go, the more people that are exposed to these videos, and that's really just a benefit for all of us. If you feel I've earned your sub, please go ahead and sub to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Seeing that sub count really it makes me feel good, you know, knowing that you guys are enjoying my videos. Also, at the same time, any potential collaborators that, you know, want to work with me, that helps bring me, you know, equipment for you guys, you know, to review for you guys, or, you know, products to bring to you guys, you know, it gets my name out there. It shows that there's popularity, and that, you know, there's a backing, and that you guys are interested in what I'm saying, and that lets me, you know, vet these items firsthand to even see if there's something I want to attach myself to. But secondly, it allows me, you know, the chance to bring these products to you, so that way you can go ahead and see if it's something that you may want. And if it's a good item, you know, I'm going to sing its praises. And if it's a not so great item, I will tell you that. I'm not going to sugarcoat things, and I won't make videos just to placate, you know, potential companies, or that's not what I'm going to do. So, you know, please, you know, hit that sub button if you feel I've earned your sub. And if you do, hit that notification bell, so that way you know when I'm bringing you the videos. You know, because a lot of times it's like 2, 3 in the morning. I know I have a weird posting schedule, but so that way you know when those videos drop. And guys, once again, thank you very much. Let me go ahead and slow down here, so that way I won't crash while I'm saying bye. Bye, guys, and I will check ya out on the next video. Peace.